Today's an exciting day. We got a thing, and it was kind of fun. It's just something that we've been wanting to get, which you're about to see here in a second. But y'all know we've been working on the pond a lot lately. Sorry, I guess you're rocking all over the place. And I don't know. It's just an added benefit to our homestead, something that I don't think people think about very much. Well, you do think about it if you got it. I'm beating around the bush. You just wait and see. It's nothing too crazy, but it's another food source that doesn't require as much effort, but it's another food source for our homestead without us doing much effort, and that's really cool. But first, it's chores time. Winter's back. I'm back in the flannel that is just all tore up all over the place. I need winter to end so I can retire this winter attire and start fresh next year. So let's get these bad boys fed. One little crossbeat. Several people asked when we did our little intro video on what we feed all of this petting zoo chaos, and we've mentioned it several times, but it's always good to bring back up again and actually show you all, because it's something that a lot of people that are getting into this, they don't know. You don't truly know what to feed. So for our male goats, they get alfalfa pellet and sunflower seeds. They do not get any kind of protein grain that can mess with their urinary tract. The sunflower seeds are specifically good for their coats. It's got a good oil in it that's good for goats, and the alfalfa is their food. So that's what we give for the boys. For our guineas, chickens, and our one little turkey we give a scratch grain and 15% layer protein pellet. It's all non-GMO. The scratch is just more of a treat. The layer pellet is actually what gives them their girth, but the scratch is kind of good just to have on the ground to promote scratching. That helps if you're trying to plant any kind of garden, because chickens are the best for that. They can scratch it up and they're like looking for the worms. But that is what we give this group. Now for our meat birds, it's called Brumley Chick Starter, and extra. It's got a little extra protein in it, and so since our meat birds only are here for about 8 weeks, they stay on this Chick Starter crumble. But it's called Brumley Chick Starter. It's non-medicated, non-GMO, and I want to say it's like 18 or 20% protein. It's one of the two, but it's what we've always used with our meat birds, and it's been great success. It's also what you would use if you had chicks, because it's called Chick Starter, but we give it to them the whole time. It just has more protein in it for faster growth, which is what you want with any kind of small bird. You want them to be able to eat, get big quick on a smaller amount, so that's what we give them, and it works out great. Okay. Y'all think I forgot about the homestead honeys? Gosh, no. So what do they eat? So we have a livestock guardian dog that's in there. And one thing we feed them, it's called Bear's Choice. It's a very organic, non-GMO dog feed. All of our dogs eat it. We get the same roller meal that we get all of our feed from. And it's absolutely great for dogs. Now, how do you feed them? What's up, ladies? Y'all hungry? I haven't forgot about you kiddos. Okay, before I show you how I feed them, might as well tell you what I feed them, right? So we feed them a mixture of alfalfa pellets, sunflower seeds, and then an 18% Tingle goat pellet, protein pellet. So the ladies are able to have that. It doesn't mess with their urinary tract, like it does for the boys, so they do get a protein pellet involved in there. We feed them 1 scoop. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adults in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's funny. I should have probably already known that, but there's 5 and 5 kids, 5 adults. They each get 1 scoop in the morning, 1 scoop in the evening. And then Butters, our milking goat, is fed separately because she gets fed while she's on the milking station. But Butters likes to eat the dog food. Okay, just fed the girls. So let's show you how I feed Dolly, and we'll talk a little bit. Y'all better go eat. You're gonna miss your chance. Miss Dolly. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on. There you go. Eat your food. So I actually lock up Dolly in the pen with our little barn, our little milking station, so she can eat in peace. She's not overly aggressive, so if a goat was to try to come up and get her food, if it's one of the babies, she'll growl and back them up. But if it's one of the adults, she will not. She'll just let them eat. And I think it's because they were kind of raised together. So she just lets them take her food. Now, we've only seen the issue with just Butters, like I had mentioned. And dog food is very bad for goats. You do not want them to eat that. If they get too much, it can really cause some issues in their intestines and guts and just be really bad for them. So you definitely need to make sure it's separate. If you have a livestock guardian dog, it's up in the air. You want them to be a little aggressive with their food and be territorial. However, we have the barn, the gate's shut, they're outside eating, she's in here eating. And so normally what we do is I give her some food in the evening feeding session to let her eat. I give her a whole bowl full. And then when we come back and milk, we'll fill her up a little bit more, see if she wants some more, if she didn't get to eat enough, because sometimes she just doesn't eat it all. So she has an opportunity to eat the rest of her bowl while we milk, because Butters, the one that eats her food, is locked up in the milking station. So Butters and Dolly are all locked up in here, and she gets to eat more. Morning's the same thing. We feed her 1 bowl in the morning with a big large scoop of food. I'm gonna get down there so y'all can see her a little bit more. And while we're milking Butters, she eats. And so she seems fine. She's definitely gained weight since she's been here. You can tell her body is getting more full. You can't really, she's a very, very healthy dog and our favorite dog that we own. But that's what we feed all of our animals. It's became a just ordinary thing for us and super smooth. But if you're thinking about having all these kind of animals, you got to think about what are you going to feed them and how are you going to feed them. Because I know one of my biggest concerns was a livestock guardian dog and how do you feed them? Because you can't just let them have feed all the time. Goats will eat it. Once they start getting hungry, they search for anything and everything. But I don't want to deter you. If you're like, well, I don't have all these different fences, all these different setups to be feeding everybody separately and all that different stuff. For the longest time, we fed what we called our petting zoo, which we still have, but we had our goats and chickens and guineas and ducks all in the same pen. I still kind of miss that, just for the fact that guineas specifically eat so many pests and parasites and ticks and all those different things that keep them off your dog, your livestock garden dog, off your goats, because goats and lambs, all that stuff is more susceptible to parasites. They eat a lot of stuff that is bad in the ground. So that part I really enjoyed, having the guineas and the chickens around our goats. But here's a rule of thumb, and let people tell you whatever they want to tell you. But we're here to tell you we did it for over a year this way and we had 0 issues. Goats cannot eat chicken feed. They can't eat the corn. They can't have that much excess corn. Now, if they get a little, it's no big deal. They can pass by it and it'd be fine. But that can't be their primary diet. Chickens can eat goat feed. So you can have goats and chickens all in the same pen, but you just would feed them what we're feeding our ladies here. Tingle goat pellet, alfalfa, and sunflower seeds. What you're gonna notice is, or dog yelp. What you're gonna notice is though, the chickens will not eat the alfalfa very much. They'll stick to the pellets and the sunflower seeds. So you're gonna waste a little. Usually the goats come back and clean up whatever the chickens didn't eat. But you can do it all in one pen if you want to. So it's what we did for a long time. It worked out. Now that they're all separated, we can separate it out. Goat feed is more expensive than chicken feed. So that's something to keep in mind. Now that we're separated, that's why we moved back to chicken feed, because it's a lot cheaper than goat pellets. But there's your rundown on what we feed our animals. Oh, almost forgot. They always have alfalfa alfalfa or orchard hay on hand all the time. Our goats, that is. So they have that they eat the most of their diet, plus all the foraging they do around our woods because we move them all the time and they get all kinds of fresh green coming. So as the summer grows, we feed them a little bit less on the pellets because they're eating more green natural stuff. In the winter, it picks up a little bit to replace, with the hay and the actual feed. So there you go. If you're interested in getting animals, they should run down with feed. So, question answered. See y'all in a few hours, butters. Milking time.
What?
Ah,
What you got, babe?
we got some fish.
Fish.
Yeah. Pond. So we got some tiger bass fish to stock our pond with, so we can grow them up and have some awesome fish.
Yeah, very exciting.
So we'll give you a good shot of them, but they look like they all made it safely. It's 30 tiger bass.
We did a splishy splash.
Splish splash.
And I come up there and see.
Hold on.
It gets me every time. I keep on doing it.
Look how pretty. Hi, fishy. So these are what, 4 inches long now?
No, they're about 6-7 inches.
6 to 7 inches.
So you can see it's about the size of a hand.
And how big will they get?
They can get all the way up to 20-30 pounds depending on how long we let them. But they can get really big. You want to touch them?
Want to pet him?
Hey, touch him real quick so I can get him in the water. Want to touch him?
So something really cool, we took that 55-gallon drum barrel up there and he put the water in it and then he pumped it with 200% oxygen so they would have plenty of oxygen. Oh, frog's jumping in to get home. So that was pretty neat. He was actually a professor at KSU on agriculture, so that was really cool. All right, say bye, fishies.
Bye.
Welcome home.
Put a couple in, see what they do. Going in? Guess so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is big.
Whoop.
Nope,
Okay.
he's in.
Like, I don't want to be in your hands.
Welcome home, fishies.
A little tricky getting the last couple. A blue thing in the water. Uh-huh.
It is
Got
a
a
pretty
better
fish.
entrance point.
Swim, little fishies. Find your friends. Oh yeah, you can see them swimming.
See? Right there. He's right here in the mud.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see it.
They're hard to see because the water's dark. But they're in there, they're swimming.
He's going this way. I see the bubble.
You see them?
They're already swimming in that water. What would you pick to swim in that water? In this water or that water?
I'd want to be in the pond.
Huh?
I'd want to be in the pond.
But still, I would want to.
Look at this big guy.
Well, he is big.
That's not good for him. But it's good for us. Even though I'm not going to eat fish.
They're gonna eat them?
I'll still be happy that they die. Well, why do you be happy that they die? I mean, like we need them. He
They're so big.
Look, I see a fish right there.
Jen out here dressed like it's summertime. I'm in double flannel. So we got bass. How awesome is that?
Yeah,
It's actually been a few days since we recorded that. I was hoping we'd get a shot of feeding them, but it's been cold, and the guy we got them from said They probably wouldn't come to the feed immediately because where it's been an untouched pond, they just got all kinds of things to eat. But hopefully once it warms up, we'll be able to feed them. But why do we even get those?
We obviously cleaned out the pond. It's been a goal to clean it out and stock it with fish. And we were sitting around a few weeks ago and decided now was the time. So we got in touch with a local guy. I think I mentioned this. He used to be a professor of aquaculture at KSU, which is a local huge agriculture source here.
Yeah.
They were very involved in our harvest celebration that we did. But got in touch with him and he set us up with what we needed and gave us a whole bunch of information. We learned a lot and decided to stock it for another meat source, basically.
Yeah, he's really cool. He uses old water treatment facilities and repurposes them for fish.
Yeah.
It's just really neat and it's an awesome
very
idea.
Knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, very much. And it's just always helpful when you have a guy that just will answer your questions and not act like you're bothering them. But, you know, we've never owned fish, especially in our own pond, even if it's... Because it's not as just simple as just throwing them in the pond, right?
Yeah.
But we're excited about them. Like she said, it's another meat source for us. It's something that's just going to sit in our pond and grow and get bigger, and we'll get to have some fun and fish. But if, say, there's no food around, we can go fishing right in our backyard and have a little seafood on hand. So that's really cool and exciting. We're just interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, we have the pond, so why not?
Exactly. And they'll help keep it clean, too.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing to show you.
Yep.
We started worm farming.
Yeah, so Raylan is our 4-year-old and she loves worms. So over the past a couple weeks, she has been collecting, she's been digging and searching for them. And we decided to start a little worm casting bin. So there's a specific term for, I think it's called vermicompost or something like that. But yeah, she's having fun with it. We gave them a little bit of dirt and a little bit of water and some paper from our feed bags, and we're going to feed them our compost. Not all of our compost, because we do compost and feed our chicken scraps, but they'll get stuff like the coffee grounds and apple core, stuff like that, and we'll use their castings for the garden. So Raylan's really excited about that. She loves it, and it's a good little hobby for her. So yeah, if you're interested in that, we're not experts by any means, but it's something fun to do and it's good for your garden.
Yeah, so that one, if you saw a little bit extra liquid, I got to drill some holes in the bottom. We had a little excess tornado fly through here. And I forgot to drill holes in the bottom. They're fine, they're okay. So we'll just get that drilled in there because you don't want a bunch of sitting water that's sitting in there.
So what you can do is drill holes in your tote and then put another tote underneath, and that the castings and all that liquid and juice will flow down, and that's what you use for your garden. So you can switch it out, you can add to them. Just make sure you feed them like once a week. That's with the coffee grounds and stuff, and I don't know. It's just kind of fun.
Yeah, it is exciting. And it's so great for kids to get involved. Because, I mean, what kid doesn't want to, well, some don't. But it's good to get your kids in the dirt and get their hands in it and picking up worms. You know, that's something that I feel like the kids either love it or absolutely cannot stand touching a worm. So this, maybe will get them a little bit more involved with it because it's their pets, right?
Right.
Raylan, she wants to check on them every single day and absolutely loves it. And it's great for a garden and it's great for her.
Yeah.
Because we truly believe that getting your hands in dirt builds your immune system up. And
Definitely.
at this time, you really need that.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's fun. Play around with it. Experiment. Make sure it's definitely a kid-involved thing because they'll have fun with it. If you don't have kids, it's fun for adults too.
And it's easy. You know, they're worms. If something happens, replace them.
Right. And around here, we are like worm infested, which is a great thing because we garden all back here. But, you know, just go pick up some rocks. I remember being young and going with my dad to golf courses really early in the morning with flashlight, trying to find night crawlers on the greens because in the mornings is when they're all out there. So be a chicken. Be up early, go find you some worms and start you a little thing. You do not have to go buy a big old bunch of worms. Just go lift up some rocks. We started with, we probably got 100 in there.
Probably, that's a lot.
It's when we moved our meat chicken pen because they love all that nice compost that's in there. So move you a pen around, do something, just find you some worms and throw them in a tote. You don't have to go buy a specific worm. Okay, y'all, well, this was kind of a little bit of all over the place, kind of, I guess. And you saw what we feed our animals. You got to see the fish, and you got to see some worms. All fun things that we got going on here in the homestead in the time of quarantine. So it's been a relaxing time. Today is Monday. While we're recording this, Mondays just are crappy anyways. We've been canning like crazy.
Just finished up. I got to get the last ones out, but done until the broth, which will not be in the next few days.
Right, and if you don't know what we're talking about, we harvested turkeys over the past weekend, and we have been busy canning up ground turkey. A couple questions just real quick before we wrap up. A lot of people ask, why did we ground up all of our turkeys? We love ground turkey.
Yeah.
We're not the biggest fan of just a whole turkey leg.
And we're just a family of 4, so
Exactly.
a whole turkey for us is just not really feasible. It doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Even if we quartered them up, it's just a lot of meat. We would be eating turkey every night for a week if we unthawed a turkey, and that would get old.
And just grounding it up gives you so many options to do with your meals. Like we had mentioned during that video, tacos, spaghetti, anything that you would put ground meat in, you can use for turkey. So it's pretty, chilies, soups, all that different stuff. So that's why we decided to do that. And it's also why we think turkeys are such an underrated homestead animal.
It feels like they are.
Yeah, because you think that you have to like freeze this whole or quarter turkey and you're like, well, I can't eat all that.
Right.
That's what we thought too. But if you ground it all up, you got all kinds of meat for a really long time and a bunch of different types of meals. So you'll never get burned out on it.
And all the broth.
And all the broth. So just to add that in there, because we had a lot of questions. This turned out into almost a Q&A video because we were answering a lot of questions. But it's good to do that and acknowledge it. And if you have any more, please post them down there. We'll try to answer them in the comments, but if they're more elaborate, we'll definitely try to throw them into a video.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't.
All right, we love y'all.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.